to be joined with legendary bassist Billy Sheehan, known for his work with Mr. Big, Talas, and David Lee Roth. Billy is widely recognized for redefining what the bass guitar can do, bringing incredible technique and musicality to the instrument. Billy, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure.
A lot of people don't realize that you actually started out playing guitar. What led you to make the switch to bass?
That's not actually true. I
No?
started with bass, but I couldn't get a bass. So my sister had a guitar that I borrowed, and then I finally got my first bass. But yeah, my whole thing was to play bass. The guy who inspired me lived around the corner. He played in a local Buffalo band that was really big. His name was Joe Hesse. He had a band called The Road, and that's where I got it from. And I wanted to play bass. But back then, it was harder to find basses. I mean, it was about a 10-to-1 ratio, guitar to bass, maybe 20-to-1. And so when I finally got my bass, that was it. But no, I was never. And people think like I played like lead guitar and then went to bed. I played like open cowboy G and C chords. That was about it. And I never learned how to play. I learned one lick on a guitar, which was an E minor pentatonic scale, which that's all I ever knew. Taught to me by Bob Wilcox, who's a local guitar player. But no, I did everything. It was all bass. That was my whole forward motion impetus, and it has been for more than half a century.
So how did you develop your technique with the tapping? And I know I'm kind of getting ahead a little bit, but going from a bass player to doing some of the incredible techniques that you do, how did you come to, develop those techniques?
Well, I played in a three-piece band, so we had to do extra things to make up for no keyboard, no rhythm guitar, no horn section, no strings, no nothing. We all sang, so we had the three-part harmony down. But there would be pieces that I would do in order to kind of mimic what happened with the keyboard player or the second guitarist or whoever. So that was a good thing. But I just enjoyed playing notes on that fretboard. So I used to listen to classical music a lot, and I'd sit down and try and figure out little pieces of the Brandenburg concertos or a little Vivaldi thing or some Paganini or some little lick or cool thing I heard. I didn't draw a line between, especially I didn't draw a battle line between guitar and bass. They were both musical instruments, as all musical instruments, and they complement each other and they cross-pollinate. Now it seems that a lot of players are upset when somebody colors out of the line or steps out of line, that you must play only this and you can only play that. And it really removes music from art, because some of the greatest artists of history didn't necessarily follow rules. They made up their own thing.
Yeah.
So if all musicians from here on just follow these absolute rules, which when you violate them, you'll be chastised on the internet and hated, I don't think the future looks bright. So back then, we didn't have anybody on the internet telling us horrible things if we did something a little different. So we were free to do our thing. So great bass players like Tim Bogert, amazing, all over the place. The Vanilla Fudge, one of the best, my favorite bands of all time. Tim Bogert, probably my biggest influence. Paul Samwell Smith with the Yardbirds, known for Clapton, Page, and Beck.
Yep.
But he, as a bass player, was just amazing. It was just incredible tone and incredible sound. So many great bass players. Entwistle, long list. And all of them started doing things a little differently. They added more. They did more. They did a sound that fit the band better. And that was good. That was good for music. It was good for guitar players too, that people like Ed Van Halen came along, that Yngwie came along. Somebody did something different. So it's a good thing that you start to experiment. And you will survive or not in the marketplace. The marketplace, like nature, if you're out in the woods, if you know how to find food and make shelter, you'll survive. In the marketplace of music, you'll either make it or you won't. And I'm very fortunate and grateful that I've had a very successful run, and it's still going, and there's more to come. So it wasn't so much I was trying to change. I needed to do things extra in the band I was in. And tapping came from seeing ZZ Top in 1974 Billy Gibbons bent a string and hit it on the fretboard with his right hand with his index finger. Nobody, I'd never seen that. Nobody in the crowd, we all looked at each other like, did you see that? He touched the neck with his right hand and a note came out. Unbelievable. And this was 74. ZZ Top opening out for Alice Cooper $1 Billion Babies tour at the War Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, New Year's Eve. And so I went home and holy cow, it works. And I did it for years. I didn't know anybody else even did it. And then there was a not so rude, but actually enjoyable awakening when Van Halen came out. I thought, oh my God, this guy. And that, of course, I had really perfected it to a great degree. And I've got video of me back in the old days doing my tapping thing and some recordings as well. But I didn't take it as far as he did. So when he did it, kind of reinvigorated me to, oh, you can go all the way to the end zone with tapping. Well, I'll join you. I'll do that. So he was a great inspiration to me too, as well. And then there's a song called Attack of the Giant Hogweed, I think, by Genesis, Peter Gabriel version. Okay. And there's a tapped intro, which is almost, and that was from 75, maybe, or 6. It's almost Eruption, exactly. Mm-hmm. It's the same notes.
Wow.
So there's nothing new under the sun. And I see it floating around the internet. It's been sent to me 150,000 times with some Italian guitar player on acoustic guitar tapping all over the neck and everything. And everybody, every week, somebody says, oh, Billy Sheehan's got to see this. Well, and I always write to them, I say, I have internet. So anybody that has internet has seen it 1,000 times. But it's just interesting that there's nothing new under the sun. Paganini also, I believe, the violinist, he was doing some stuff where he would pluck with his right hand on the neck on his violin. So I don't think I invented much of anything, maybe a couple of things. But just to expand the scope of the instrument, I did my best to try to experiment around. And most of it was pretty successful.
Yeah, obviously. You didn't really approach it as a traditional bass player.
Oh, yeah, I did, though.
Oh, you did?
Oh, absolutely. That's all I do. To be with you. I rest my case, Your Honor. Yeah. Number one signal. There's no tapping in that thing. There's no distortion in that. I'm just playing rock solid bass. Just Take My Heart, same thing. Ladies Night in Buffalo, all the I'm Easy off Eat 'em and Smile, the That's Life off Eat 'em and Smile. Totally traditional bass. And I played, because we played songs. Yeah, I couldn't be flying around while I'm playing Danny's song by Loggins of Messina. You can't do that. Right. And I played regular bass, which is a brand new record by The Fell. Mm-hmm. There's regular bass all over it. Mr. Big, regular bass all over it. Winery Dogs, regular bass all over it. Yeah. Sons of Apollo, regular bass all over it. Nice and regular bass all over it. Talas, regular. It's once in a while a little snippet, or somebody will go to a show and take 30 seconds of my bass solo, which is 30 seconds out of 2 hours of music. Mm-hmm. Post it, and then all he ever does is solo. Mm-hmm. Now, that was 30 seconds of a solo that I did out of 2 hours. So it's funny how that happens, that people fixate on that. And I've had this discussion with many, many, many people. But
I guess you could say that's me too, because that's the impression I've always thought of when I thought of you as a bass player. It's like really flashy. I mean, some of the tunes that you do with Mr. Big and with the tapping in the beginning and stuff. And I think Shy Boy's like that too, isn't it? You have some tapping in there.
Yeah. So that's good. There's tapping in a lot of songs, yeah, but there's a section for that. Mm-hmm. There's a part for that. It comes up, and that's part of the song, just like you would have a guitarist play a thing. If a guitarist and bass player play a thing together, kind of unique, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, whatever, but it's a thing. But there's verses and choruses where there's bass. I may be wrong, and people get whatever impression they like about it. They don't like what I do or don't like what I play. That's perfectly all right. I can't expect that. I don't expect that. but I just sometimes it's curious to me that people fixate on certain things and then make that the whole of my entire scope, career, life, living, and experience on planet Earth. It's just it's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, I guess I'm guilty of it myself. Would you say that you were probably one of the first to develop that tapping technique on bass? Because I've seen,
No,
other people do it later on, like Stu Ham, and
I did it in '74.
yeah,
So if you go to the timeline, but I would never be so self-aggrandized to say I was. There's got to be somebody who did it somewhere. I just don't know of anyone, but I'm sure somebody did somewhere.
I can imagine the calluses on your fingers, about an inch of callus on there.
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah, yeah. My hands are always. I play hard, and I play rotosound stainless steel round wound strings. They, in a glorious way, tear your hands up.
Do you use a pick or do you use your fingers?
Fingers always.
Oh, that's awesome.
Except for we used to do the My Generation medley by the Who with the song My Generation, and I would walk over to the guitar player, take his pick, and play the whistle solo with the pick. I'm not sure if he did it with a pick or not. I think he did, and then I tossed it out in the audience. But that was once in a while. I have them around. I use a stone pick often on if I'm writing on guitar, but yeah, I've been a finger player from the beginning.
Was there a specific moment that you really felt like you had discovered your own voice on the instrument?
Not really. I don't really look. I don't. It's I don't really think much of myself. I don't really think anything about my playing. I do what I do. In my mind, I suck all the time because I'm always trying this new thing, and I'm this far away from it. So I'm always, once I get that, I don't throw a party and congratulate myself and put a crown on my head. I find the next thing I suck at and work at that. So it's always a challenge. I'm always challenged and challenging myself. So I never look at myself as anything other than some bass playing schlep who's trying his best to survive somehow on bass. So yeah, I've never really looked into it. I think it's really, really important for any musician to really dig deep and dive into the deep end of humility, because no matter how good you think you are, somebody out there is way better.
Yeah.
No matter what. And so I'll see some 9-year-old Chinese girl sit down and do, Rachmaninoff on the piano, and then think, who am I kidding? This kid is a genius player. Yuzha Wang is her name, Yugawang. Look her up on YouTube and watch her playing Flight of the Bumblebee. Not one of my favorite pieces of classically, because it's pretty cliche, but she plays it like a fiend. And any musician anywhere, especially in the rock world, looks at that and doesn't go, I suck. then you need help, because it's really an important thing for musicians, because you stop yourself from moving forward.
Yeah.
If you think, oh, I'm pretty fabulous at this, or I'm pretty awesome at that. That's why a lot of time when we talk with musicians, this is the thing between me and my circle of friends, we know how good somebody is by talking to them for 5 minutes. We don't even have to hear them play.
Yeah.
That's happened a million times. And it happened to me one time. Well, people come up and say, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I do this and I can do that. I can do that. We're good. Thanks. One guy outside of a club in Geneseo, New York, back in the 70s, came up to me and was talking to me. Instantly, I knew he was dangerous. This guy was badass. I knew it right away. And he had his guitar in the trunk of his car.
Yeah.
And instantly I knew. I didn't even have to hear him play. Turns out he had his PhD in analytical philosophy. Wow. And he was a brilliant man. He's a professor now. But man, he had it down. I learned a lot from him. Pretty amazing. So yeah, I think it's really important to not to be really careful about what you think about yourself. I avoid any praise as best I can. You know, it's important because you really do shut the door to improving, I believe.
That's a great attitude, being humble and always challenging yourself.
It can be no other way, really, if you really want to continue to grow.
Yeah, it's a journey.
This is my little practice spot. I got my bass here. I come down, I feed the cats. I come down here every morning and go for hours. And sometimes I'll just sit there and play eighth notes on a string. I'm muting the string. I'm not even playing notes. I'm just working on my right hand, doing different patterns back and forth, and for hours. And as I start, it's awful. It's not in time. I'm slipping. I'm rushing. I'm dragging all this stuff, and I just sit down, hit it. 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 an hour and a half. Aha, starting to work again. Okay, we're coming back. And it's grueling, painful. Some kid wrote to me the other day, "What do you do about fret burn?" I said, "I'd have to find out what it is first." I've never heard of it. I go, "What is fret burn?" He goes, "Oh, it's when you're playing, your hands hurt from the frets."
Stroking the neck.
I go, "Well, I don't even consider I've started until my hands start to hurt. And if you're not playing enough that your hands don't feel like that, then you're not playing enough." So, so that's an important point for me.
Playing night after night in clubs can really sharpen your, a musician quickly. How did those gigs? Yeah, how did those gigs shape your technique and stage presence?
They were responsible for most everything. So I got to get up on stage in front of people every night and hit it. We did 32 nights in a row once. No, 21 nights in a row. We did one time. One time we did 3 full shows in one day. Set up in downtown Buffalo for the afternoon crowd at M&T Bank. Tore down. Went to Niagara Falls to an exhibition game of the Buffalo Bills. Set up, played, tore down. Went to the Club Lakewood in Niagara Falls after that. Did set up, did a whole show, tore down. And it would make your hands, plus your voices too, because you sing 3-part harmony and lead vocals all night long, every night. We had no monitors. There's no, I remember the first time we saw a monitor. How come there's a speaker on the stage? What's going on? Didn't have them. And so we turned the PA a little bit so we could kind of hear it, to hear what we were singing. And I got tapes from back then, and we're all on key, we're all on pitch, we're hitting our notes.
No
monitors. That night after night after night after night after year, starting in about 1970. My first gigs were 69 or 70, all the way up to next week. I'm on tour again. About way over 6,000 lifetime shows. Easy. Probably more. We tried adding them up one time, but it was a Herculean task to do that, but way over 6,000. So that's good. And I'm so thankful for that, because I had the chance to, because you're sitting around in a room playing, there's no real pressure to play it right. You can make a mistake and stop and go get a drink and come back or whatever. But live, you're on stage for an hour, you got to hit it. And you got all these people watching you. You got to nail it and learn how to recover from mistakes and learn how to, fix, tune your bass in the middle of the song without having to stomp, and great skills that you learn. And then also you learn about your gear and how to adjust your bass and how to make it play easy, and, how to, we didn't have a lot of people to fix stuff. Gear, you're on your own. You're out playing some club out in the countryside and your amp breaks down. You got to fix it, figure something out, So it was all great experience. At the time, we didn't know how great it was because it was rough, but in the end, I look back and I have fondness to those great times.
I've talked to other musicians, and you can learn more, in my opinion, from my experience, that you can learn more in just, one performance than you can, 6 months sitting in your bedroom.
And we were fans of showbiz too, because when you get up on stage, end a song, get to the other one. We loved it when the Ramones would end a song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go right to the next song, because there's no dead air, because you lose the audience with this dead air. And you learn how to speak with the audience. You also learn about public relations, because we didn't have dressing rooms, so we'd step off the stage at the end of the set and sit down to somebody's table and hang out with them. There was no separation of audience and band back then. We were all one. We're all friends. You say, how'd you like the show? Yeah, that one song, I haven't had that, but the Robin Trower song, we like that. Oh, we'll do some more, you know? So you learn how to deal with the public, how to deal with a lot of this great, great training to be in a band and perform live. Nothing like it.
Now, when did bass solos and extended techniques start becoming a part of your live performance?
Right back to it again. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, we played a song called Mr. Big in Talas. And in it, the brilliant bass player of Free had an extended solo. So we played that song. And one night on a lark, I just said, hey, when the solo comes up, you guys just stop and I'll play a thing. And then come back and count me in and we'll go back into the song at the Poorhouse West in Hamburg, New York, early 70s. And sure enough, they went off stage and I started playing my thing and doing a couple little Bach pieces, whatever. And they came back. We started, thought it was cool. And I didn't know if they liked it or not, but said, it was cool. Let's do it again. Realizing that later on, it was a chance for them to go get a beer and talk to girls. And then while I was up there working. But for some reason, people kept asking for it. And hey, you can do the solo tonight. I go, oh, okay, I guess, you know. It became a thing. And people expected it, so I did it. Now, it was a great opportunity for me to do an unaccompanied bass solo every single night and make it new and make it not boring and not clear the dance floor or not clear the room. So I remember when I did my first interview with Mike Varney in Guitar Player magazine, I said something about my goal is to play, you know, bass for X amount of time and not bore anybody. So I try to keep it as exciting and engaging as possible. So that was just a thing to take up a little time, a break in the set. The other guys could get a drink. They did most of the lead singing. So to go get a drink and or have a smoke or whatever they did, and you know, talk to their friends or girls or whatever. But it was never I know, let's do a solo. It was never intentional, really. It's just kind of like most things, it just kind of happened.
How do you personally balance technical expression while still serving the song?
Well, a solo is the solo. An unaccompanied solo isn't necessarily serving any song. It's just serving the solo. And I hear that phrase a lot, serving the song. You got to serve the song. I serve every song I play. Every song I play, the song is served. I got a great bass from Yamaha, John Patitucci's six-string bass. They were so kind to send it to me because I really wanted to warm up on a six-string to open my fingers up for when I go back to my four. I have one already right here. It's the six-string I played on Just Take My Heart. But I didn't want to, I don't want to change strings on that because just that bass means a lot to me and it's kind of a piece of history for me. So they were kind enough to send me one. It's just basically amazing. It cost a fortune. I was just supremely thankful to Yamaha. So I took it out of the case and it was in tune perfectly. It was flawless. Yamaha's quality control is second to none. And I sat down with it and played and played and played. Took a couple photos of sitting right here. As you mentioned before about the calluses. Right now, there's no indentation in my finger. If I touch a bass string, there it is. Now there is an indentation because your calluses are thick and they're hard. And when you push on them, it makes a little indentation. And the unbelievable insults. Drink some water, bro. You're dehydrated. You have bad technique. You know, just bro. Amazing. That's why I've kind of given up on the idea that there's a bass community because there's just sad. And I love to help out my fellow players when I do my master classes.
Yeah.
I'll jump into somebody and do whatever I can to help him. Go ahead. Always with the option of, you know, I'll give you some suggestions here and guidance, but you do it the way you want to do. But I'll try to help you out. And I get letters back from them. I was changed their playing, and their band is even happy with how they're playing now. And nothing could be happier. Could make me happier. I apologize. Because I love helping my fellow players. I get emails from guys, yeah, back in 1977, you played this little club called the Shangri-La, and I brought my bass, and you adjusted the neck and showed me how to do and I love doing that. So to see the internet people now who just are disturbing how hateful they are And I try to keep it clean. I don't get involved in controversies, and I compliment my fellow musicians whenever I can, and I try not to ever speak negatively about anything, or certainly not musicians.
I think the same way. It's about supporting one another. It's a community.
Like I said, I help a lot of young musicians and players, and I do a lot of bass clinics. For my master classes, we charge for them because we need a place to go, and there's people to pay, and a videographer, and a music store. And I don't make much money from it at all. I do my best to try and help people when they're playing. I've got a long list of people that have done my master classes, and they're very pleased with what they learn, and they come back for more. Some have come back up to 4 times. So I'll flow to them the best help and advice and coaching that I possibly can. And that counterbalances the fact that people will attack me.
How do you keep your head together with that shit?
With this thing right here.
Yeah.
That's where I go. But most everybody comes to my shows are friends. They're great, and I love them. And if they after show, like out by the tour bus, I stop, I hang out, I sign everything, I take every photo, kiss every baby, shake every hand, do it. And I like it. And I appreciate people coming out to see me play. I don't owe anything. Yeah. I've had some fans get into, well, I bought your record and I couldn't find you after the show to sign it. I go, well, you bought my record and you got the record. We're even. I will do my best to spend the time and sign it if I can. But if I can't do it, if we got to leave for the next show, you can't. If you want to get mad at me, that's your business. But I at a NAMM show one time, I signed 2,500 posters. There were 500 from Yamaha, 500 from DiMarzio, another 1,000 from another company. But our grand total for the NAMM show was 2,500. And the end of my finger went numb. It was actually numb for a couple of weeks from signing so much. And I was glad to do it. We had a riot. I met some amazing people. And I didn't complain one bit. It was great. But, some people, it's a necessity. But for the most part, people are great. And I got amazing fans. And I love them. And they're there for me. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, nobody really prepares you for that, though. When you start getting famous and there's people that are coming up to you that, are strangers to you. How did you learn to deal with that?
Like I said, when we started, we didn't have dressing rooms. We would walk right out into the crowd and hang out with everybody. And even on a David Lee Roth tour, headlining some huge thing, we go out to the buses to be a crowd behind the fence. I look at the security guys. I'm fine. I walk up there. Hey, you guys, how's it going? Give me your Sharpie. Hey, thanks for coming out and take photos. And there's still send me photos from those days, sitting out behind the tour buses on the Roth tour. I love it. And people generally great. I love our crowd. I remember being in Germany in the winter. It's raining out. It's freezing cold. And I signed, there's a big crowd, maybe about 50 people behind the venue. So I had to hunch over and sign things because the rain was coming down. And when a drop of water hits a Sharpie, it doesn't work anymore. So we had to be really careful. So I was hunched over and acting as a little umbrella, signing everything, take a photo, shake a hand, sign it, Dankeschön, great people, wonderful. We had a fantastic time. Somebody brought me a beer. Thanks a lot. We did it. We played in Japan recently for the farewell tour.
Yeah.
And we stayed in this great hotel. Out of the front door was this beautiful boulevard with these amazing stores. Out the back door was a little back alley with these tiny little restaurants, typical Japanese, just incredible. And I was going out to go to the restaurant after the show, and there was about probably 500 people out there. And I just stopped, and I had my own Sharpie. I was prepared. They got in their own line. They made a line themselves. It was just me alone. And they came up one by one. I said, thank you, arigato. It was fantastic. And shook hands and gave a hug. And they, and people that gave me so many little presents and things are so great. I signed for about, must have been an hour and a half. I was worried the restaurant was going to close pretty soon. So unknown to me, the owner of the restaurant came out and he was a fan. And so I signed some stuff for him, and I go, "I'll let you open." He goes, "Well, I figured he's going to stay open a little bit longer." So I went in there after I signed everything for everybody, and a lot of people followed me in. And the place was smaller than this room. It had a little like a counter with about 5 seats and about 3 tables. And there are these little tiny hole in the wall eateries and stuff in Japan that are just amazing. We go down these little alleyways. And it's clean and the food is amazing and people are so sweet. And we were jammed into this place. There was a few friends of mine, Japanese young ladies that could speak English really well. So they were there to help me and ordered. So I was doing the shochu and soda. Shochu is a Japanese vodka. So the shochu and soda they were doing, and I was drinking that. No, sorry, shochu and grapefruit juice, fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. So it'll go right into your system real quick. So we ordered the shochu with grapefruit, and they ordered a whole bunch of little food. We're coming around, and we were, I mean, people were standing here and here as we were at the table. One of the greatest nights of my life. I had so much fun. They were so amazing. It was so cool. And I made another 100 friends that night. So don't get the wrong idea. I mean, there are some evil people out there that say horrible, terrible shit, but they're not the fans. The fans are just so great. And it was one of the best nights of my life. And people now, when I go back, it was in Osaka too, by the way. So remember that night with them? Oh yeah, it was amazing because there was hundreds of people there. They all remembered. It was so we've had a lot of opportunities like that to just be incredible fans. So don't get the negative idea that everybody out there. And it's easy for a musician to think there's a generalized. I think, well, one guy said I suck, so the whole audience hates me. No, one guy said you suck. He probably does suck, and he's jealous because you're up there and he's got nothing. So rely on the other 1,000 people that are there that want to see you play and that love your music, and you love them as much back, I'm sure, as well. So unfortunately, there's a few negative people that try and ruin it. And in musicians in our mind, we're generally pretty self-conscious, and we think it's the whole opinion of everybody in the whole world when somebody says you suck. It's not. It's a microscopic little bacterium, floating off in the distance. So let them go. But for the most part, people are great, and our fans all over the world has just been spectacular to me. That's my pay, that's my currency right there. I'll take that.
That's a great attitude. Of course, you played in some amazing bands. When you joined David Lee Roth, for example, in the mid '80s, what do you remember about the first time you guys played together? Like Steve Vai.
Well, the first time was just me and Dave. Me and Dave started the band, and we went down in his basement, and I had my bass, and we had some ideas on tape, and we worked some things out. And so I recommended Steve Vai for the gig because we had already been talking. We were on the same label at the time, Important Records out of New York City. And Steve came down, and he brought a drummer with him, a guy named Chris Frazier, great guy. I since played with a lot of great artists. But for some reason, Dave wanted somebody different. I don't know why, because Chris was great. And so Dave sent Steve and I out to find Gregg Bissonette, and we did. And Greg, the moment we saw him, we knew he was the guy before he even played. He was just a wonderful person. And we went out, worked out songs, and bang, 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 did a record with Ted Templeman. And some of it in LA, some in New York City. And 40 years ago this summer, the record came out.
That's a kick-ass album, that first album.
So yeah, I've been lucky to play with a lot of great players who also were wonderful people. And plus, Dave was great to us during the Eat 'Em Smile campaign. From the beginning to end of that, he was great. Things changed after that, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But he was great. And I'm forever grateful to him for giving me the biggest break of my life.
And then you got into Mr. Big with Paul Gilbert.
Yes.
So what was that like, going from that transition from David Lee Roth to Mr. Big?
Well, the great thing about Mr. Big was one man, Herbie Herbert, and he was going to manage us. And that was why we were successful. He was one of the biggest managers ever, one of the founding fathers of the music business as we know it today. And he called in a few favors, and we got some great breaks because of him. And also, we had some great songs and great singing. And in my humble opinion, if I didn't think it was great, I wouldn't have put it out. Yeah. But I really love what we did. And we had an amazing run. #1 single for 3 weeks. #1 in 14 countries. #1 video on MTV. platinum record, sold out shows all over. So it was a beautiful, beautiful thing for which I will be forever grateful, changing my life forever. I recommend everybody have a #1 single. It changes everything.
When you step onto a stage, what is going through your mind in those moments before you play the first note, if anything?
Clear your mind. Don't think. If you think, you stink. If you're thinking, you're probably stinking. So you spend your time thinking and rehearsal and practice and all that, get it together, go on stage and forget everything. I forget what famous jazz saxophone player says, practice everything, go on stage and forget it all.
After decades of performing and recording, what still inspires you to keep exploring new musical ideas?
I don't know, but it sure is there. Like I said, I get up every morning, I hit it hard for hours. I'm writing all the time. I always have my iPhone sit next to me, put it on selfie video and play the part that I just came up with. I got hundreds of videos of song ideas, and I'm always writing and working on gear. People say, well, outside of music, what do you do? I go, not much. Almost everything is playing or working on a bass or designing some piece of gear or modifying some piece of gear or singing or, go to some vocal coach to tighten up my voice a bit here and there. And everything is about that. I don't know where it comes from, but I'm very pleased that it's there.
It's just passion, I think. It's just your love for music.
I love music. I mean, if I'm home alone, my wife's away or something on business, and I'll grab a glass of red wine and come down, and my iTunes is over 2 terabytes of very well curated with album cover art and everything spelled correctly in every right folder, 2 terabytes of music of such a broad spectrum that I've collected since MP3 started, since CDs came out, and since vinyl came out, all these collections I've done. And I can have an amazing night just sitting down, clicking on incredible songs that I love and listening. So it's really music. It's been called the greatest art form, rightfully so. I think Schopenhauer, famous philosopher, proved it out in some of his writings, why music is the greatest art form. But I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of science that backs that out too, in my opinion.
Very much.
Neuroscience and music.
There's a book called This Is Your Brain on Music. I posted about it, and the author got in touch with me, actually. It's pretty cool. It's just a great, great book about what music does to you mentally. And I didn't really touch on the spiritual aspect of it, which I don't know much about necessarily, but there is certainly certainly a big component of it.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. So, Billy, you've always got exciting things going on. Tell us about your current project.
I got a new band called The Fell. It's cool starting a new band at my age. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
We started the beginnings of this band a while back, but there were some contractual obligations some people had, so we couldn't do it. So recently, all of us are free. And even though some of the songs we started long ago, I always had them on my phone and would play them for people. Hey, check this band. A few years ago I did. Oh, amazing. Who's that singer? It's Toby Rand, a great singer we have, Toby Rand, Australian gentleman. And Mike Crump is from Smash Mouth on guitar.
Sweet.
And a gentleman named Mick, whose last name I got to double check with him how to pronounce it because it's Italian. But he's an amazing drummer from Toronto. And we got a whole record done. We got an EP out now. The Fell is the name of the band, and the new record will be out very, very soon. We got a whole bunch of new songs on the new record, which I'm so excited about. I posted one of them that hasn't been out yet, me practicing bass to it, because I'm practicing the songs now because we got to do a show. Yeah. And I did a little video of me playing along to it. Almost 1,000 comments already, and everybody loved the song. And some of the kindest, sweetest, most generous comments I've seen in a long time. Really, really wonderful. People enjoyed it. So we're excited. We're going to start. Just happen to have my schedule right here.
Oh, yeah.
I printed this out so I could do a video and read it up. But we're going to play March 22nd in Liverpool, New York at Sharky's. That's a great club in New York. That's our first show ever. March 23rd at the Winchester Music Tavern in Lakewood, Ohio. March 25th at the Evening Star Concert Hall in Niagara Falls, which in Buffalo is my hometown. So all my friends are coming out to Niagara Falls on March 25th for that. It's going to be great. The Craft House Stage and Grill in Pittsburgh on March 26th. I played in Pittsburgh a lot too. I did an interview with them this morning. They're very excited about it, and they're playing our record, and we're very happy. It's really cool. On March 27th, Sweetwater Performance Theater. Sweetwater Music is a great organization. It's not only a huge online retailer, but they work hard and have great events for musicians, helping things out. They've been so great to me and so many bands I've been in, and so many musicians I know have been helped immensely by Sweetwater and their people. So that's in Fort Wayne, Indiana on March 27th. The 28th of March will be at the Token Lounge in Westland, Michigan. That's a very famous rock club, famous and infamous as well. We're very happy to be there again. I played there several times. And then on March 29th, the Blue Note in Harrison, Ohio. In Harrison, Ohio, I played there before as well. It's a tiny little place. So we're playing these little clubs.
Yeah.
To be hot, sweaty night of rock and roll, just to get used to it.
Yeah.
Because in a way, it's kind of a shame if a band goes out and right away they're playing 3,000 seaters. You never got to play with the band in a little tiny club with no dressing room. So it's good for you. So we booked these just to go out and sweat it up a little bit and get used to playing these songs live. And we're very excited about it. And that begins next week.
Do you have a booking agent that does this for you?
Probably. I never know who it is though.
Oh,
I don't get involved in too much band business because I'm involved in what I do on stage and my playing and my gear and my bass and stuff. So I rely on someone else for that. So I always have to apologize. I usually don't know where we're playing, when it is, who it's with, or whatever. People ask me, "Hey, could we be your opening act?" Maybe, but I'm not the one that can set it up for you.
Yeah.
So I apologize. I don't know much, but it's kind of always been that way. I've always relied on somebody else to take care of the biz, and they do a great job of it. And that way I can concentrate completely on what I have to do as a player and a performer on stage, and remember the lyrics and hit my notes and all that.
Yeah, these days it's you have to be pretty much a little bit of everything. You have to be your own manager. You have to be your own, booking agent.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
Yeah,
Wish I could. So I hire someone, and they get paid to do it, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
So we keep the economy rolling.
So I have one more question for you. Do you have any advice for aspiring musicians or bass players right now in this day and age?
3 things. Get in a band. Doing your YouTube for clicks, that's wonderful. And there's so many amazing players. I'm blown away. They're so great. But you got to get in a band. You're not going to get anywhere like that. You get clicks, maybe you'll monetize your channel, blah, blah, blah. Get in a band, I'm telling you. It's the adventure of a lifetime. It's the greatest thing ever. You'll learn more about everything in life than you could anywhere else. Get in a band with songs. Play songs in the band. Get in a band with songs that you sing. Bang, bang, bang. Run the numbers on everybody who did that and look at the amount of success and massive popularity. The Beatles, band, songs, sing. Van Halen, band, song, sing. AC/DC, band, song, sing. Judas Priest, band, song, sing. The Eagles, Grand Funk Railroad, Three Dog Night, you name it. Every band you could imagine. That's how it happened. These are the bands we know. I could name off bands and, I know that band. Oh, I've heard that band. I know a song by them. Oh, yeah, I know them. Oh, I was at their show. I was at their show too. Band with songs that you sing. That is the thing. Many times people go, I know this guitar player. Oh, really? Hey, it's the most amazing thing ever. It'll blow your mind. Really? He's the greatest guitarist I've seen ever in my life. Really? Does he sing? No. I'm good.
I totally agree with you there. And that's something that took me a while to get through my head as an instrumentalist originally.
I'm not the last word on this. Somebody can go out and do an instrumental thing and be successful. There's many that do it.
Like Joe Satriani.
What's that?
Like Satriani and Steve Vai right now. I think they're doing the free thing or Satch Vai project right now.
If you want to be successful in music, and even if you want to do instrumental later or on the side, you will enhance that career by being in a band.
Yeah.
How do you know Steve Vai?
Yeah.
David Lee Roth, or Frank Zappa. And Frank Zappa almost always had lyrical music in on every record. Amazing instrumentalist. He had a nice balance of it. But that's how you know Steve from.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and it's very true with a lot of players. But yeah, get in a band with songs that you sing. The formula for the greatest success by the numbers in the music business. Period.
It's great advice. I got some rapid fire questions for you.
All right.
First musical hero.
Joe Hesse, bass player, lived around the corner from me. He's why I play bass. He's why I started bass. He's a great bass player to this day and still my friend. And he joined me at our Christmas show in Buffalo last year. He got up and played with us, and just a great guy. And was not known nationally. Other than that, nationally, we Paul Samwell Smith from the Yardbirds, Tim Bogert from Uriah Heep, from Vanilla Fudge. And there's a long list of guys that I was a huge fan of. So, but nationally, Tim Bogert, probably the biggest one, but my original guy was Joe Hesse.
First album that changed your life.
Having a rave up with the Yardbirds. It was a Yardbirds record, which one side was their songs and the other side was them playing live. And to hear the difference between the songs in the studio and live blew my mind at how much you can do when you perform live. And that was the beginning of a lot of sensibilities of how I look at music, very much so.
One bass line that you wish you wrote.
Rain by the Beatles, When the Rain Comes. Brilliant, Paul McCartney.
Most underrated bassist.
From AC/DC, forgot his name. I got it right here. When you get old, this happens. I got it right here because on this bass, it's a Höfner Beatle bass. Cliff Williams. I knew that was his name, but I mixed it up. Cliff Williams was kind enough through a friend, and I never met him and didn't know him at all. A friend of mine went to his home in Florida and picked up some instruments to sell for him because it's hard for a famous guy to sell. He was kind of cleaning out his guitar room, and my friend came back home and called me. Billy, are you home? I go, yeah. What's up? I got to come by. What's going on? I got something. Yeah, okay. So he walks in with a case. I go, what's that? He opened it up. It's a Höfner Beatle bass. And I love Paul McCartney, of course. I go, what's this from? He goes, Cliff Williams wanted you to have it.
Have you ever had the chance to meet Paul? Just out of curiosity.
No, I sure wish. But yeah, but Cliff, what a wonderful guy. So I got his number from my friend and called him and thanked him profusely. I love his playing. Mm-hmm. And Back in Black is probably the greatest rock record ever. I'm going to stand by that.
Yeah,
pretty hard to beat.
That's one I totally agree with you on. Definitely.
Wow.
I listened to that album at least 1 million times.
Same here.
And then I just put it on, loop. One last one here. One practice habit every musician should develop.
Hit it every day. Don't skip a day. Hit it every single day. Force it if you have to. I don't feel like practicing my hands, so do it anyway. Get up off the couch, put the remote control down, put your phone down and practice. Hit it every day. Hit it every day. Don't stop.
All right, Billy. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really enjoyed talking to you about it.
Oh, my pleasure, John. It was a joy too. Yeah. It's always good for us to be in communication with our friends and fans around the world, and we appreciate your help. All right, John. Thank you.